I will be talking about the theatre tradition of Khon dance drama, and specifically I will be discussing the convention of performing the movement of the monkey through the body. So to introduce you to what Khon dance drama is, according to Thailand Now, it is described as an old Thai traditional dance theatre depicting characters from the epic of the Ramakien. And according to the University of Michigan, the Ramakien is the Thai version of the Hindu Ramayana. And according to UNESCO, it was deemed an intangible cultural heritage of humanity in the year 2018. And to further describe it, Daily Art magazine has described it as a combination of dance, detailed costumes, speaking, singing, and music. And now to go into the origin and the evolution of how Khon came to be, it is said by Thailand Now that it came about in the Atupaya period, which was from between 1351 and 1767. And although we don't know the specific year, according to Discotheque, the first written evidence of Khon was in 1691. And it was, according to the Daily Art magazine, first performed in front of the royal court, and it was inspired by multiple different art forms such as Nagyak, which is a form of shadow puppetry, but also Krabi Krabong, which is a form of martial arts. And there have been many different renditions of Khon over the years, according to the Thailand Foundation, one of which was the one that was performed in front of the royal court, which is officially called Khon Duan. Then another one is Khon Lahore, which is performed in front of a screen, along with many other renditions. Due to westernization, Khon feared extinction in the early 2000s, but thanks to the Support Foundation in 2007 for supplying more art scholarships to students in Thailand, more people have been able to pursue Khon, and it's still going strong to this day. According to Discotheque, there have been many differences in the way that this tradition is performed over the years, including the fact that every single character used to be seen wearing the traditional masks, but now only some of them do. And also it was only allowed for men to play in Khon theatre productions early on, but now both women and men can play. To go into the specific characters that are reoccurring due to them being a part of the Ramakien, there are heroes, which are seen as the protagonists usually. They're called Phra in Thai, and they're seen as regal, and they no longer wear masks, but they're seen as refined as well, and they will usually have high levels of ornaments and jewels on their costuming to show their status. The same can be said about the heroines, or nun. They have the same kind of costuming, they're seen as refined, and they no longer wear masks, and they are also seen as elegant. Then there are the typical antagonists, or the demons, or yak, and they are one of the characters that are still seen wearing masks, and they usually have fangs, grotesque faces, and the colors on the mask will have symbolism for their characters, and they are typically seen as being powerful or very evil. Then the last character I want to talk about is the monkey, or Ling, which according to the Daily Art magazine, they are usually generals or foot soldiers for the heroes or the heroines, and they are seen as small, lively, agile, and very mischievous, so they will sometimes be seen eating fruit off of holy trees, for example. According to the Doorstep Traveler, there's one recurring character of the monkeys that's called Hanuman, and he is the leader of the monkey army. And he is especially beloved by audiences because children will find him funny in his monkey characteristics, but older audiences will find him very loyal and devoted to the rest of his people. And according to the Thailand Foundation, there are up to 40 different types of masks that these monkeys will be seen wearing. Many look like this with white colors and typically animalistic monkey features, although there are many different types. They will also be seen with silks and ornaments on their clothes, although less so because their status is lower than the rest of the characters in the Khon play. Now the physical movement of the characters in Khon, Discotheque has described them as using prolonged movements and holding these movements in order to emphasize a point and to show their characterization, and this kind of shows the influence that Nagyai, or the shadow puppetry, had on the tradition. Additionally, they will not be seen speaking. Instead, there will be oration or there will be subtitles, but the most seasoned Khon viewers will understand the full meaning of their movements without even having to look at those subtitles. And according to the Daily Art magazine, many of the characters, like the monkeys and the demons, will be seen with low positions in their legs to show the martial arts influence and show their power. Now specifically with my convention of moving the monkey through the body, they will be seen with high levels of physicality according to the Doorstep Traveler. That's how these actors are chosen to be limber, flexible, and to be relaxed in those movements that they're making. And they will be seen, according to the Daily Art magazine, with a straight line from their neck to their hips, but their hands and their arms and their heads will be what characterizes them. And there's a unity of style, so there will be 68 different types of movements that they can make with different bearings, so all Khon performances are very similar in that way. And some of the examples of the movements that we will see are, according to the doorstep traveler, energetic steps, balancing, twirling, and advanced pyramids, all while wearing a mask. All of my pictures are from the Canva art gallery. I will be talking about my specific convention of performing the monkey or ling through the body next. And the first thing I wanted to explore when trying to portray the monkey through the body is the posture that you need to keep while you're performing this, because as I mentioned in my previous presentation, you need to keep a straight line from your hips to your neck, and the first step of that is rolling your shoulders back and keeping your head aligned, which you can see me practicing here. And the next aspect of the monkey is the leg stance, and there are many things that I wanted to avoid doing when portraying the leg stance, which first and foremost was having your legs pointed forward, which was characteristic of the other characters in Khon, but not the monkey. And then secondly, it was not going down like deep enough in the squat, but having like a short depth is not adequate, so you need to go far down. And then you also want to keep your feet aligned with your knees so you don't overbend your legs. As you can see, it creates a different shape of the legs that is undesirable in Khon. You want a straight line. And next up, there's all of these aspects put together, which there's a proper depth and the feet are turned outwards and there's a straight line. Then the second aspect of the movement is the arm movement. And these can be very different depending on what the character is trying to say. And the first one I wanted to try to emulate is sort of a standard arm position that you see in Khon quite a lot, is when the monkey is not really seen doing anything in particular, but more so standing around watching other characters move. They hold their arms sort of towards their waist or towards their hips, like this, while they're down in the leg stance. And then when they're looking towards sides, they will move the arms accordingly. And then another way to use the arms is in a playful manner. Now this was seen in a YouTube video of a production of Khon by Walter Nye, where this monkey is going through a garden and it's playing like little teasing movements to show it's kind of mocking the people a little bit, and this can be done with the hands instead of saying sounds and using your facial expressions. And another way you can do this is to show crying, which can be done through this slouchy arm movement across the eyes, which is showing that they're wiping away tears. And it's done with this slouchy movement to sort of show the monkey movement of it, and it's like an animalistic form of showing the crying without using expressions and sounds as well. And then there's also pointing, which can be used to clarify what the character is trying to portray and trying to move towards, and it can give like the audience a clear idea of what they're trying to do essentially. And what they will do is they will keep their arms on their waist or on their hips, and then they will point towards where they're looking, and this will kind of come before they're moving across the stage, so they will point and then they will run over to whatever they're trying to portray. And then there are the uses of the head in Khon. And with the monkey, you're trying to show this animal character, so there are a few ways you can use the head. There's slow movement, which can show focus, that it's trying to focus on something and it's looking at something with intention. And then there's a more sped up version of this head movement, which is usually used with the teasing arm movements to show this mocking and playful and animalistic side, and kind of a more childish side, so it can be attentive or it can be playful. And then there are also the tricks that are very characteristic of the monkey. Now, I won't be attempting this in this classroom, but I have these videos of me trying to learn it on my own time. And I chose to try to do the cartwheel because it's one of the simpler tricks that they perform on stage, and it's something that you see monkeys do very often in Khon. Now, the things I wanted to focus on was that you keep this leg position that the monkeys have while you're doing a cartwheel, so you don't want straight legs, you want to keep the same position the whole time. And you don't want to make a jump before you go into the cartwheel, because it kind of, you want this look of a continuous movement. And it needs to look effortless. You need to almost look weightless. This was one of my first attempts where you can see I do jump before I go into it, and my legs don't hold their position very well. And then there's another attempt here where I have less of a jump, but still a jump, and my legs are a little bit better positioned. And then I ended up being able to keep the position more effectively, but still very much not perfect. And then there are the putting it all together. So you keep your posture down, and you have the leg movement. Then they would be seen moving around the stage with flexed feet often, and then it would be combined with the movement of the head. If they're attentive, they will look slowly, and if they're playful, they will have quick arm movements with the movement of the head. and there will be the pointing, which is often compared or often combined with the movement of the leg towards whatever they're pointing towards to further show this connection between them. So now I want to get into my evaluation and my reflection of the process of researching Khon dance drama. So in my inquiry into Khon dance drama, my understanding of theater in the world has developed in many ways. One of which, and a very clear one, is by broadening my horizons. I understand a world of theater that I had previously no idea what was, and I'm very grateful for that. It has also taught me about the Dharmakien and different types of epic that are very seen in Asian culture, and the specific one of the Dharmakien, which is seen in Thailand. It has given me a deep respect for this ancient tradition of Khon